to lean in.
What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. Welcome to the Lean, where we discuss all things reality TV, recaps, panel discussions, celebrity interviews, you name it. I am your host, Cortez, and I'm here with some of my favorite co-hosts, Antonio and Demisio. We're here to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I ain't want to say it wrong because I don't want Antonio correcting me again today.
It was all out of
What's going
love.
on, Demisio? How y'all doing, Antonio and Demisio?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It was a productive Monday for me, so I'm ready to talk about Atlanta.
Okay. Well, yeah, I see Asia and Jasmine are in the chat. They cannot be on camera today, but that's okay. We'll see them next time for ladies' night. Look at Jasmine said fellas night. Exactly. It's fellas night. Fellas. That sounds so old school. Very Nini. What's up, JP Rob, CJ, so Jasmine and Asia, Nushka, Paris, so pretty. When you Paris, we'll talk about that after that. Hey, Paris, Sebastian, anybody in the chat, let us know you here before we get started. Of course, go ahead and hit that like button to like this video, and subscribe to the channel to know about all of our videos we post. As of right now, the live shows are Atlanta and Beverly Hills, which are doing really well. New Jersey just ended, and we're coming up on a few other shows such as Dubai, and other shows are kind of in the works. Like, there are a lot of shows we're thinking about doing, but just has to be, the chemistry has to be right. The panel got to be right, and the people have to actually be interested. So stay on the
Yep.
lookout and just subscribe, and you'll know what shows we'll be doing coming up. Because June is gonna be really crazy, like really crazy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the episode 4, which was called Big Apple Squabbles or Squabbles, something like that. It was a very interesting episode. I actually was thoroughly entertained throughout. And I feel bad for people that are saying that Atlanta is just not giving or it's not where it is. It's actually so interesting to watch,
Yeah.
It's not like just, oh my God, it's so good. But I will say it's keeping me interested. Like, it's plenty to talk about. I don't find myself bored coming on. Like, do y'all feel the same? How y'all feel about the season thus far?
I think that it's been a pretty good season so far. I was even telling somebody else that I have to get out of wanting season 5 or
Yeah.
season 6 Atlanta back.
Yeah.
That Atlanta is
It's
gone,
gone.
and this is the new Atlanta. So we have to be open minded to give it a chance, which is what I'm doing now. If I ever decide Atlanta just is like done and through, then I'm just gonna stop watching. And I watch every week. So
Yeah.
there is still some level of interest there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We ain't going nowhere. Demetrio, well, your audio's
We can't
out.
hear you, baby doll. What's up?
Wait a minute. I think it's kind of coming, but it's like I hear something, but I don't hear you.
Right.
Just oh, I hear something.
Okay. We getting that,
Go
Demisio.
ahead.
Keep working with it. Come on now. Don't be low budget,
It's okay.
Demisio.
We gonna move on. We'll let you get your audio together. We're gonna move on. Okay. So we're in episode 4, and last week we ended off with Sheree and Drew kind of having their issue. We talked about Drew and the hands in the face and stuff like that. I was kind of disappointed with Drew. I do like Drew, but I'm disappointed to see her get to that point, especially unwarranted. I didn't think it required all of that. And quick shout out to DM Rocks for the super chat. Says Kenya needs a spinoff after renovating about renovating homes. That's why I made this the thumbnail her, because she's listen. If I was just listening out, didn't know, I would be like, damn, she knows what she's talking about. Now, I ain't got no house. I am in a 2-bedroom, none bullshit as apartment, as Toya would probably say. But so I don't know about no houses, but I think she sounded really well. And I think, she did build her house and she's still working on adding. So I think she's pretty qualified. But shout out to Dean Rocks today. We're going to talk about that some more too when we get to that part. Yeah. I agree, Nushka is giving mature shade. It's refreshing. It's just refreshing. TKC says so. Drew and Ralph not toxic. They are. We're gonna talk about them too. So in this episode, we start off with Marlo. Marlo is building a home, right?
Yep.
So we actually get to see Kenya talk about homes twice. She's kind of talking about it when she meets up with Marlo and Sheree. And I'm gonna say Marlo is really entertaining to me still this season. She's just funny when she's not trying not to be.
Exactly.
Because she made the comment about she was like, "Chad, my friends coming over. One took 20 years to build, and one
And
still working on it."
still
I
working
was
on
like,
hers, right?
she is just funny, and that's what I like to see from Marlo. Like
Yeah.
she is. It's out. I don't know, child. Leave and come back, and then we'll see. If not, child, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep going, okay? So I wanted to talk about this part because so Marlo, Sheree, and Kenya there, and Marlo and Kenya kind of have a little issue right in the driveway or whatever they is, a lot, whatever they was in, based because Marlo makes this comment in saying that she's a Buckhead girl, but she don't have Buckhead money, and that they are the ones that put off that she has all this money. And she kind of taps into the statement of where her money comes from. And I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and I was just saying that I really feel like we're really seeing Marlo's insecurities and how sensitive she is, which we never really seen before. And I say that because honestly, Marlo has been on the show for just about 10 years, I believe now.
Yeah.
As a friend in and out, and you would never. She acts as if she exudes money. So when
Yeah.
she tried to double down and be like, y'all the ones that say that. No, Marlo, whether she's actually saying she has money, the exact words, she does come off and try to give out as if she has money. So I want to get y'all thoughts on that because Kenya was just like, girl, even at your event, you did say you had money, you did, you're rich and stuff like that. You talk about dollars and tags, stuff like that. So when I hear dollars and Louis Gucci Prada, I'm not saying that automatically it means you have money because there are such thing as scammers out there. But you're putting off as if you have it. So what's
Right.
your thought?
I definitely think over the years, Marlo has put off that she is that girl. She's that money girl. I
Yeah.
remember even a couple of seasons ago where she was kind of throwing shade at someone, and she was like, "Even my straws are, designer or whatever." So she puts that out there as if she got it to blow. I remember
Yeah.
at season 10 reunion when they were talking about she had scammed Nene's ex-boyfriend out of the money, and she was like
Yeah.
$20,000. What's $20,000 to me? Pretty much like $20,000 is like a drop in the bucket when it comes to me and what I got. So Marlo has always put that out there. It's just that now it's like, oh, not the rich girl. Marlo has to build a house in Decatur, Georgia, instead of Buckhead, or
Right.
somewhere like that. So I
Yeah.
think that was her way of kind of trying to flip that script on Kenya and Sheree when nobody was buying it. Like, it's like, girl, you don't really got as, and she actually said it, my finances won't let me be in Buckhead. Exactly. So act your fucking wage.
Right. Demetrio?
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything that he was saying.
Thank you, Demetrio. Okay.
Like, if you gonna sit up here in front and flaunt, don't get mad at nobody for asking you no questions, honey. Ain't that what you say? So, I mean, you got to have the same energy. You got to be reciprocated. You say you this, and that. And going back to, like, the reunions that you was pointing out, like, even season 11 when her and Shamari was going at it. It's just like, girl, you say
Yeah.
you this, and that, and you got the coins and all that. So, it's just like,
Yeah.
what to the billionaire? You save the money from the billionaire. Like, girl, come on now. Like, get
Yeah.
real.
I want to say I feel like that so before now it was always speculated that they didn't bring her on the show because she that she wasn't getting her money the right way or getting it the legal way, and she didn't want to open up her life and stuff like that. But I feel like that's exactly why they brought her on, of course, because Portia left, but also
Yeah.
because they knew that it was an opportunity for a storyline to exploit what she does.
Yeah.
And
Or what she has done in the past.
for what she had, because Kandi and Kenya are really sticking to where the hell she get her money from, and it's actually working in her favor, But Marlo, she kind of lashes out so randomly about it. It's just like it's kind of cringe because it's like, girl, I would expect you to be a little bit more secure. But hey, we're finally getting to know Marlo as herself. outside of someone's friend or sidekick. So I'm gonna keep watching, but I just can't help to notice that this is like interesting. Go ahead.
Another thing, you drive a $400,000 vehicle. So, where you build your house shouldn't be an issue if you driving a vehicle that's worth $400,000.
Thank you. And then this little rift between her and Kenya is starting to piss me off. Like the little, like it's like they be going, then they like really back in. It's like, okay, so what's going on here?
Yeah.
Are y'all friends? Because we just trying to figure this out, honey.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Come on, Sebastian B says.
Me too, TKC.
Out of the conversation, considering everyone on the cast has done a little something strange for some change. I mean, listen, it keeps her going, so we need it. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm not tired of it, but I think we'll never get a true answer. Where the money came from, whatever she did, I'm sure it was unethical. But at this point, she ain't been caught yet. So
if she was an escort,
right?
I would kind of live for that. I would live for it.
Can we technically call someone an escort if they're dating somebody and they're giving them money and stuff like that? That's an escort?
Well, I didn't say
I thought escort is when you do things like that for money. No,
I said if.
Like if they're dating that person, like can you technically say that she was an escort? If she was dating them and not just having sex with him, period.
Yeah. Dating.
Because I mean, I've dated guys and gotten money and stuff from them, but I'm not an escort. I was dating them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it depends on what you call dating and what you call escorting, because I know people and it's a situation where they may have regulars and they do go on dates.
Yeah.
Okay. So they may be dating that person.
Yeah, escort doesn't always equate to sex either. Escort is just really giving somebody a time.
You may escort them to dinner. You may escort them to a ball or a function or a gala or anything. Doesn't necessarily mean
what. Okay. So then, okay. So after that, in the same conversation, Sheree mentions Tyrone, and I just feel I don't feel bad for Sheree, but it's just not for her being the smart woman that she is, to be putting herself through that, the embarrassment that comes with it is just terrible. Well, go ahead.
Is she smart? Is she that smart though?
I think she's a smart person, but I think I think she's smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like Nene. I'm just tired.
The thing with Tyrone, we already know that he damn near ain't ever getting out, and the fact that she's alluding to he is going to be at this upcoming trip and be there, that's just crazy. Cause that's crazy. That's crazy. So she talks about that. She also talks about the thing with Drew and Kenya. She says that she didn't like the way that Drew came for Sheree. And I was like, interesting to see that. So, at this point, Kenya is okay with Drew. And she's, kind of, I guess she's kind of closer to Sheree. Mm-hmm. But she's not really neither one of their besties or friends. I'm glad she's not using that term, especially after just ending a friendship with Cynthia, who was her almost bestie. So while we go into this next segment, I wanted to ask y'all a little trivia questions I came up with. Why? What is most likely the reason that Drew has 3 assistants? Is it A, to cope with Ralph and his cheating, or B, was it to help lose 25 pounds in 3 weeks?
Well, we know it ain't B, because Drew ain't lost no 25 pounds. She might be done lost it by now, but she ain't lose it then.
Well, C, none of the above.
C. The fuck? None of it.
I'm trying to figure out what just super business that she running that calls for 3-4 assistants in the first place. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, we also, we don't know for sure. I guess from what I understand, Ralph does something in tech. Maybe, sounds like he may be like some type of a consultant or something like that, because the way she said it, he does business with different Fortune 500 tech companies. So maybe he does some type of consulting company, or he runs a consulting company or something like that. So maybe because he works a lot, she needs help.
I don't know. Okay. I just wanted to ask that question. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. Like I said, the answers were A, to cope with Ralph and his cheating, or B, to help her lose those 25 pounds in 3 weeks, or C, none of the above. Those are the options. So this week with Drew and Ralph, we actually see them in counseling, and they go to Dr. Kent, who we have heard his name before because this is how they got into it at the dinner. And they start off talking about why he did the dinner for Drew. And he was basically saying what he said earlier, that he wanted to romance her, show her a nice time, and or whatever. And my thing is, I just want to say that I really wish he would stop and listen. It's kind of like understand that I don't think even nobody's negating what he did. I think it's just the fact that she wants to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But clearly his mind is one way. He's not seeing it the other way. But they talked about the dinner, and he was talking about, she has steak and lobster. And I'm like, I know steak and lobster is good, but come on now. People eat steak and lobster all damn time. Like, let's not sit here and act like this is a one-of-a-kind meal that they never eat. Because it's given they must be eating Lunchable, really eating Lunchables and eating Popeyes and ramen noodles all the time. The way they was sitting here fancying over lobster and steak. But I can't count nobody's pockets of corns and their experiences, so I'm going to be quiet. But what I will say, he did say that she didn't deserve that, and she deserved a Lunchable. And I'm just like, child.
He me off so bad. I swear to God, like, oh my God, like he fine and all of that, but he is, in the words of Karen Huger, gutter ball trash. For real. Like, the narcissistic and manipulative and just and then he's so combative. You can go, Tonyo.
Yeah,
you over it, Demisio. You done? Like, yeah, Ralph. It's like he has to put her down. And I'm not saying it's like that in their relationship all the time. Mm-hmm. There may be a lot more happy moments between them in love than what we see. I hope it is. But, I mean, what they showing, though, is like he really acts like he don't really like her that much. Yeah. And he wants her to just show up, look pretty, be on his arm, and shut the fuck up. Like, he don't want her to talk. I don't talk about nothing I done did. I don't care how I treated you or what I said to you or how I made you feel. You show up, you look pretty, you don't say shit, and we're not gonna talk about that. That's it.
Do y'all think the Lunchable thing was rehearsed? TKC says, let's talk about rehearsed reads. Do y'all think it was rehearsed?
I don't know if it was rehearsed. The way it kind of wrote, I mean, he might have thought about it in his mind, but he didn't know possibly. I forgot how they got to that moment. I know they started talking about the date, but he didn't know what the doctor was going to say for him to provide that type of reaction. Not only that, these heterosexual men these days are very, they will get you together real quick. They know, they understand reads and they understand shades. So it could have been something that just popped in his head right quick, and he was like, you ain't deserve shit. You ain't deserve nothing but a damn Lunchable. And he probably would have gave a little turkey kind too, not even like a good one.
I like, what's y'all favorite Lunchable? Mine is the one with the nachos.
I like the one with the ham and the I think it's mozzarella cheese or whatever, and then like the crackers, and I stack it up and I drink me a little juice with it. So
the pizza one gets an honorable mention. What's yours, the BCL?
the nachos.
Yeah, baby, them nachos. When I tell you get the nacho and you put it in cheese and you put it in the salsa. Ooh,
yeah. Read it, motherfuckers.
I'll take one. Okay, we get off topic. So this is what took me out actually. So they were talking about the comments that they made in reference to what Dr. Kent said at the previous section, and Dr. Kent said, keep my name out y'all mouth. This is y'all marriage. I mean, he basically was like, keep my name out y'all mouth. Like, don't mention me in y'all arguments. Like, and I'm thinking like, interesting, because do you feel like so let's say you guys were, if you were in a relationship or if you are in a relationship, I'm not sure, but if you go to counseling, and do you feel like you should mention what the counselor said or the therapist said?
Listen, if I'm in several relationships, and if we was all going to therapy, when an argument came up, I'm mentioning what the motherfucking doctor just said. Like, Dr. Joseph said you was full of shit, and you is full of shit, and this is why. I'm gonna say whatever it is Dr. Joseph said. If it's in my favor, I'm gonna reiterate that shit. So, yes.
Well,
Dr. Ken, whatever Dr. Ken told him, is fair game for them to mention. If he called Drew a maniac, which I don't think he called him a maniac. I think he said he was manic, possibly.
yeah.
But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I agree with Tonio. Like, if he did bring it up, then like he can't really be mad at them for using that like in an argument or whatever. But I ain't never been to counseling. I don't think even in a future relationship or marriage that I would ever go to counseling because, child, if we got to go to counseling, that means cut ties.
You never know.
No, Demetria, you can't say that though. You got to be open to it. If y'all get to that point and y'all really love each other now, counseling is not a bad thing.
We have to. You can't. At some point, I feel like maybe we all reach a point because we all start out thinking counseling therapy means that there's something wrong. It's not always,
right.
It's not always something wrong. Sometimes it's actually something. It's needed. You know what I'm saying? They're there for a reason. They ain't like chiropractors who we could do without. I'm just saying, depends on what your situation is, but they're there for a reason. Psychology is real, and so people, I feel like if you need it, or even if you just have the slightest, you wonder about it a little bit, then I would say go for it. So, but you never know till you're there. I say that I had never been.
They might pull some good shit out of you. Keep an open mind about that counseling now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jazz.
Will party for advice on both our behavior if that's the case for free.
They always pick some janky little counselors, and so it's a small way. I agree, Dr. Ken or Kent, whatever it was. I'm not gonna say he's a bad counselor, but when he made the comment, I was like, huh?
I was like, I hope they get a new counselor because
I think the reason he made that comment is because of the way that they brought his name up. It wasn't like they were having some type of vacation thing. They were bringing his name up in a combative way. So I think
to kind of put each other down is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing it in a more how can I put it, useful way, or actually communicating with each other. They were actually coming after each other if you really want to be technical.
They was using it as a way to throw shade at one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think they were using that. And so he gives them this challenge, which I thought was also kind of stupid, where they can't get into any kind of altercation or argument. What's the prize or the gift that they has to have?
For 24 hours, you get whatever you want from the other person. So I guess if you're the one that starts the argument or whatever the case or be negative, then you have to give your spouse whatever it is that they want for 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, okay, this is no. Well, what kind of counselor gives them I get a little assignments, but this is the whole. They ain't no damn game. What the hell?
It's definitely a challenge, but I'm thinking, trying to be open-minded. I'm like, maybe he thinks that if they can, because they say it takes 21 days to kind of create a habit and change habits or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe he's thinking in his mind, if I give them this challenge for 30 days and they really work on it and they work on being positive and loving on one another for the next month, maybe that's something that they'll get all that negativity out of their system and they can be prosperous moving forward, maybe.
Or maybe the reason why they're having issues is because of Dr. King and they need to go find somebody else that can really, because maybe he's not the counselor for them. I'm just going to say that because I don't know.
I think they should be going. I hope they go to counseling separately.
I hope they go see multiple counselors. I hope they.
I definitely think they need to go separately. I'm sorry, Demetria. What you were saying?
You're fine. I think the reason that they are not they don't even have to go to counseling separately, even though I do think that is a good idea. They can't get out of that combativeness and actually listen to what the other person is saying, to even listen to what the hell the counselor is saying. Throughout the whole session, they were just.
That's why I think they need to separate and I don't want to say fix themselves separately, but they got work that they need to do on their own before they can fix this unit that they have going on. That's just my opinion, but I'm just watching.
go to Kenya more often, honey, because she was hitting the nail on the head when it came to both of them, child.
Oh, we're gonna talk about her. I got some words from Miss Kenya at the end on that too, actually, but we'll get there.
Please,
so
thank you.
The next part, because I'm clumping Kandi and Todd stuff for later. I mean, it happened before this scene, but we're gonna talk about that together with the whole condo stuff.
Okay.
So Kandi sends her little invite. She sent what's his name from the show? What's his name from her?
Patrick
and his girlfriend, right?
Safari.
Yeah.
Right. So she sent them that little thing. So I wanted to play this little game. And I don't have no name for it, but basically before we got on here, I had Demisio and Antonio write on some paper for now on based off the game. And basically you just put up whether you would go to this event, aka I'm pulling up, based off the invite, or would you just stay at home and say, nah, I'm good. Okay. So this is just a few recent more invites that have happened on Housewives TV, and you let me know based off the invite. So of course, starting with Kandi, her little invite with Patrick and Safari that we just saw on last night's episode. Based off the invite alone, would you go, as in you pulling up, or would you stay at home, or not, as in nah, I'm good? Okay, you pulling up. I'll pull up. Okay. So y'all going back. So y'all must like Patrick.
Well, listen. Hold on. Let me say this. I didn't understand the correlation between them coming in the dominatrix and sex slaves outfits. You know, to the as it relates to the play. But I was intrigued myself, and I did think that they both looked like. Never mind.
I definitely want to join them in bed.
Okay. Let us know in the comments what would you do to either you're gonna pull up or you're gonna stay home based off the invite. Kandi's invite. That was the first one. The second one would be Mary Crosby's invite that she sent for it was like the Italian like party she had last season. She sent the invite. I actually have the picture, but this is the one she sent the wrong invite to Whitney to like a mafia. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember what the.
Yeah, it was like I tried to get the picture, I can't find it, but
I do remember when they went and she told Whitney to come dressed as like a slut or something like that, but she told everybody else to come dressed like
it was like an Italian theme, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a small world, and Morgan said, "I'm staying home." Okay, nah, I'm good. You gonna go? Okay, child. Okay. Marlo's invite from 2 episodes ago when she sent the Dell laptop with the to the archive event. You gonna pull up? Y'all gonna stay at home?
I'm gonna still pull up. I'm gonna still pull up. So.
Okay. So Giselle's event to the shady. What's it called? Her podcast. What's her podcast?
Reasonably shady.
The event she had last year, where she sent them an invite, and the one that Whitney got upset about. You gonna go? you gonna pull up? Okay.
I would go just to do what Wendy did, because 9 times out of 10, I was amongst that cast of girls. I know me and Giselle would be foes. So
okay.
Definitely
Okay, then the final one would be it was the invite to who sent that damn invite with the butterflies last season?
Karen
invite with the butterflies in the box. I think it was to the wedding, right?
Yeah, I'ma still go, but I'm gonna read the fuck out of Karen for them damn dead ass butterflies coming and not doing what they were supposed to do. Girl, send me a motherfucking Evite if that's what you
animal
got.
Cruelty. Actually, Peter would
call it fucking Peter to meet me at the event.
Okay. So I would ask y'all about Kandi's invite, but y'all clearly said, hey, what y'all was saying. I was hollering and Marlo talking about her draws and how she got draws at home and she don't need Kandi draws. This is the kind of moments, I'm saying, like Marlo is just naturally funny. She's not like my auntie. She's like, girl, I got draws at home. I got draws with diamonds, draws with this. She was just funny in that moment.
She had draws with the little opening on honey, baby. All you have to do was bend over. I said, go on, Marlo.
Right. So, okay. So we get to the actual day of the New York trip. Kandi arranges transportation for everybody to get there on time. And so everybody is actually in the bus and whatever. So when they get there, Kenya finds out that it's not a couple's trip, but the other women that have husbands were bringing their men, and so she felt the way. But they did a flashback where Kandi did mention to her that that the husbands were coming, and she even mentioned that she would bring a date. But Kenya seemed to forget that she said that, and she forgot about the whole men coming, and she felt the way, which she also felt the way about the invite that Kandi sent. And I was kind of weirded out by Kenya being so prudish because we just saw Chocolate last year busting it wide open. I mean, I know it was a bachelorette event, but I mean, it ain't been that damn long. I don't understand why Kenya is so like prudish right now. I'm enjoying Kenya more, but that's so fun, Kenya more. I'm enjoying Kenya more this season, but I just felt like she was a little off and kind of like had a little negative energy. But she didn't let it ruin the trip. She didn't really come off too crazy on Kandi. I do think she's gonna bring it up later, especially as it relates to Brooklyn and Patrick and the girl coming over naked. But 56.
Wait, did Brooklyn saw them?
No, I think she feels the way that Kandi did that while Brooklyn was there, like having somebody naked come to their door. I think that's what it was, but I don't think that's out yet. That's speculation. But there's a competition for the room, and basically everybody has to give the best sex story that they have. And Sonya, she starts off just saying they was on the airplane. So I'm like, okay. And then Marlo gets to talking. This really took me out. She's talking about she's having sex in front of a giraffe, and the giraffe licked her. Obviously, she was lying. So, but from this point, if you notice, everybody's story had to have animals in it. So it went from the story with the giraffe to the story with the whales, to the story with the coyotes bleeding. And I'm just like, what is going on? So honestly, they should have gave it to Marlo, since she did kind of start the whole thing of everybody mentioning animals, whether it was true or not. But they gave it to Kenya. You said what, Michelle?
Wow, though. That was just the coyote blood and all that. It was just wild. It was giving very much Jamie. But anyway.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, let's give it to Kenya, child.
It was giving who?
Nothing, child.
Oh, okay.
Morgan said everybody told a lie except for Sonya.
I don't think Sheree was lying. I do think Sheree was possibly fucking in the pool. Like that's kind of easy. That can be done, especially with a man and a woman. That can be done. All she got to do is sit on the edge or something like that, pull her penis to the side, bam, bam, bam. She in there. That's kind of easy. So I believe Sheree, and I believe I don't know if I believe, because Ross looked big and Sonya looked tall as hell. So them inside of that little bitty ass bathroom on the airplane, it's possible.
But they could have been in like first class or something like that with the beds.
I don't really see them being in first class. No shade.
I thought Marlo was talking about a client.
Client. Marlo kind of had me at first when she said she was at the zoo having sex, but when she was like in the giraffe,
when she said the giraffe licked on the face, I was like,
yeah, I was done. And then Drew and they out in the ocean and they whales. I'm like, dude, unless y'all was out in the middle of the ocean, I know y'all ain't swam that far.
Drew didn't took the story. She didn't took the story from what's his name from the girl that was really messing off with Ralph when he was in Tampa. That's where Ralph was. Ralph was in the water with the whales and the ex. She just had to twist the story a little bit to make it.
Now I will say this: Kenya did commit to her story. She committed to it. She started and she provided. That's probably why
Kenya gave it to her.
A closing, right? So I'll give her that. Yeah. Now it was a damn lie.
Right. Okay. So then after that, they're kind of getting ready the first day to get out and do some stuff. I guess they're going to see the condo first. But before all that happens, there's a couple of conversations going on. Sonya is talking to her husband, and she seems like she is she's not on Drew's side with this whole assistant thing. She feels like the assistant. She feels like she should drop the assistant, and why would she align herself with somebody like that that's doing stuff like that? And because I mean, at this point, the assistant is allegedly saying stuff about Sheree and about Drew's husband, and you can't help but wonder, does he not know about this stuff or know about what has she not told him? Because I feel like type of man that Ralph is, I feel like Ralph would probably make Drew get rid of his ass
immediately.
Like he's not that nice of a man, so I find it hard to believe. But Sonya's, basically, it seems like in the preview, Sonya's gonna talk to about it, but that's next episode. Marlo and Sheree are in the back stirring the pot, and they basically implying that Todd is out here possibly messing around. And what I hate about this, I don't mind it for Marlo. I let Marlo go with it, but Sheree knows better.
Yeah.
But I feel like Sheree is still upset with Kandi about the whole thing to where she's doing that. But I feel like this is the type of things that get Sheree kicked off the show every year because she aligns herself with the wrong person.
With the wrong person.
Doing it. And Kandi has, she's working this season. It seems like they're going to make her work, but she has priority on this cast. So I don't think he's off limits, but I just feel like some things she's kind of Sheree, she loves to be the bone collector too much for me. And I don't know how it's gonna go, but it's looking like Kandi versus Marlo and Sheree. And I don't think they're a strong enough team still because one stutters and one can't even talk. So it's just like what they gonna do?
Well, it's gonna be funny because one stutter, one can't talk, and then the other one cries. So it's just gonna be a bunch of gibberish, like the whole. That's what the fuck is gonna be like. The whole damn argument is them doing that shit. So yeah,
yeah. I agree, Sammy. Honestly, they both did know. Marlo know better, but this Marlo first time. Let her have her mistakes and learn and grow, baby. She didn't been around, but it's her first time having a piece. But Sheree knows better in my eyes. No,
listen, they know my man. Listen, Kandi ain't really said shit yet. She gonna be ready at the reunion. I can see it.
Oh yeah, this gonna be maybe another season 9 Kandi at the reunion.
Not that one. I hope not. I would like a season 4 Kandi when she was like really cussing Marlo out and stuff like that. That's who I would really like. Not season 9. She started like crying and shit like that. Like, but she started like doing all that. I don't want that.
Yeah, and they also implied that basically, the tension from the condo is coming from Todd possibly stepping out. And you see Kandi talking about how he's always out and doing stuff, hanging like a party boy in college. And that kind of takes us into the condo. What do y'all think about the condo? Like, he wants to keep it, she don't want it. She keeps mentioning how his ex was living there and stuff like that. Personally, I think they should keep it. It's on another coast. They go to New York a lot, be a boss, have multiple properties. I'm surprised they ain't already got a property over there.
I agree. I thought that too.
I think she probably wants that, but for some reason she don't want this condo.
She don't want that condo.
Right. And so I find it to be weird, but all the ladies seem to be okay with it, minus the renovations, stuff like that is needed. But what do y'all think?
I want him to keep the condo. I really liked the condo. The view was amazing. Like, it would be really nice for them to have that.
Yeah.
After it's renovated and she goes there, maybe she'll change her mind and see it's almost like a completely different spot. But I definitely hope that he keeps that because Kandi got Riley and their other 2 children. So, of course, she will set them up for success. But Todd has Kayla. So that could also be something that even if he didn't use it for him and Kandi, that could be something that he can pass down to his daughter, being that, she wouldn't get no piece of Kandi's house or anything like that. So maybe that's something that he can use and pass down to his daughter. So I'm pretty sure that he will possibly keep it. Even on Watch What Happens Live last night, Riley was there as like the bartender or whatever, and Andy asked her, would you want the condo? And Riley was like, not really. And I was like, of course she's gonna say that. She, that's Riley. Yeah. So, but it's something possibly for his daughter that she could have, and then, she can give it to her children one day and so on and so forth. So I hope that he keeps it. And I hope Kandi changes her mind or perception about it as well, especially after it's renovated. We got a new fucking bed and new mattress and shit. I don't really care who may have been in here before. That's it.
Okay. Unless I know what happened in there, then, but maybe she knows something we don't know.
Listen, didn't nobody get murdered in there? Let's go. And
go ahead, Demetrio.
First of all, I'm just tired of Kandi and Todd's storyline too. It's just giving very much forced, young and the restless. I'm just tired of them. But to give them the benefit of the doubt, to give an opinion, I'm conflicted because I agree with Kandi. I don't know how I would feel about living in a place that my boyfriend or husband, fiance, whatever the case may be, was living in with his ex. But I also see what Todd is saying too. So I'm really conflicted. I honestly feel like what you said, Tony, like once it's renovated and they didn't change the whole damn condo out, do it really matter? It's
Well, and also, Demisio, they won't really be living there. Like, really, how often do they
won't
go
be
to
there
New
like
York?
that.
They both so busy. They both got so much going on.
right.
It's not even. They probably won't even be there once a month. So it's not like they'll be living there.
And as much of a money maker as Kandi is, don't see why she don't see as rent that out as an Airbnb, rent it out to somebody month to month. Like that's money coming in every month. Like that's money that could be made instead of like trying to like give the condo away because you're afraid of what Todd might be or might not be doing. But I think that's really what the issue is, and she's putting it off on like his ex used to live here. Da da da. It's really she don't trust Todd. That's all that is.
Yeah,
And
I
Todd
can see that.
old too, so
That's I found them to be. I found her to be a little bit more secure within their marriage. And not saying she's not, but it seems like maybe some may have
A
happened.
little crack there.
There's some. It's some. Some is happening, and I don't think it's a complete lie what Marlo and Sheree talking about. I hate it's coming from them, but there got to be some. You said what?
She even said it on the bus, didn't she say that she wasn't 100%, secure about, their situation or him having that place, for when he goes away or whatever. So
well, she said he'd be out. He'd be out like a party boy and stuff like that. He'd be out like that. And, but she always works. She always filming something on TV. So, but it looked like we got a new Mama Joyce. We got Miss Marlo. I call her Marlo Joyce Child because she made a comment about Todd basically saying that without Kandi money, he ain't gonna have shit. And I was just like, ooh. All right, Marlo. I'm absorbing all these things that she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Because she is in these confessionals.
These confessionals,
money shit, and I really want to see how it all plays out. So we'll see. But I caught that. I was like, ooh. Okay. So it looks like everybody in the comments says they think they should keep it, Airbnb it out. I agree. But I don't think that's what his intentions are. I think he wants to keep it to have a second place to stay. I don't think he wants it as an Airbnb because that's anybody in their damn right mind would know if we got an extra property, Airbnb that shit out. These folks that live here, they be trying to Airbnb they damn real apartments out.
Yeah.
And the leasing man just be like, hell no, we don't do that over here. So hey, if I had an extra property, that's what the first thing I would do. I don't think that's something he wants to do.
Especially with where that property is located in that view. Right. They could make some serious coin off that. So
but you want something, I honestly think it's a whole lot more, even though they, like I said, their storyline is giving very much soap opera. I do think it's a whole lot more going on. They seem so out of touch in their relationship actually versus how they seemed in the past. Like they're definitely hitting a rough patch finally. You can tell it's been good, and now like that they close to 10 years almost. They're having a rough time, and I don't think they know how to cope with it.
Well, they ain't fucking really, so
I mean, they do work a lot. I mean, Kandi be saying she barely get 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep. What much fucking can they do?
Listen, when you get in the bed, you better turn on your side.
Like Marlo said, just lay there.
Oh God, Marlo don't even have sex, child. I know.
They do. It's right.
Nasty. And TKC said, let's not act like Kandi hasn't been throwing shade towards Marlo. I'm not acting like that.
No,
because Kandi definitely she always throws her little sidebars and says her stuff, and she kind of hides behind other people. So it's gonna be very interesting to see them two go at it because I mean, Kandi said that they get into it really bad. We know that Marlo calls Blaze a test tube baby, and we know that and per Kandi they made up, but makeups
over chicken wings. They
makeups don't never work, okay? Because first of all, when they watch the show back, because they're watching the show as we're watching it, shit builds back up, And as you can see, they already Marlo out here talking about how her royalty she ain't getting. They back at it. They ain't nothing made up until maybe the next season.
Yeah, and then you also get to see what the person said in their confessionals. So it's like, damn, we done made up, but then you kind of still jabbing me and going in on me in your confessional. So now we got an issue again.
But Marlo did say, though, she was like, Kandi, you gonna be mad at me again when you watch the show over. She did say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Say that.
Well, we're gonna see. Let's talk about this last scene. So this last scene, basically, they're at dinner. And the dinner was going okay, I guess. Sonya, I don't know if this was like premeditated, but she asked Kandi and Drew why weren't they wearing their wedding rings, and Kandi said she never really wears it. So I was like, okay. And Drew says that she stopped wearing it because she was trying to lose weight or something like that, and they flashed all back to every time she didn't have it last season. I'm like, oh Lord, production is working extra hard. But instead of just ending it there, she says, I'm sorry, I don't wear it, blah blah. And I'm like listening. And so she talks about their recent challenge that they have, right, with the therapist. And then instead of ending there, she kind of goes into the whole cheating thing. And I'm just like, Lord. So at this point, Drew, I understand she's hurt completely. I think she has valid feelings. But where I think she goes wrong is she's bringing these things up. Of course, the whole group, they know about it. Everybody in the group, all the women, all the husbands, the men, whatever, the sisters, everybody know, we know. And she's constantly bringing it up. But to bring it up in front of the whole table, and y'all kind of having like a little sidebar about it, just kind of very embarrassing. And there's a couple things that happen at this table. Kenya, looks over and she's making her comments talking about how, Ralph reminds her of her still husband. They are not divorced yet, Mark. And, makes comments and is basically like, why are you laughing? Like, that's not funny. And the way you treat her. And so I wanted to ask y'all, how did y'all feel about Kenya approaching Ralph like that? Just the whole scene, because personally, I didn't like it. I get what she was saying, have your home girl, whatever, back for a second, but it got a little cringy when she was just like, why are you laughing? It's almost like it was her man. And I'm like, this is somebody else's husband at the end of the day. Know your boundaries. That's just
right.
What are y'all thoughts?
Like, I thought that Kenya, now I agreed with what Kenya was saying.
Right. I agree completely.
But it was almost like she was using Ralph as Mark. Like she had put Mark's face on Ralph and she was talking to Mark in that moment. Because we've seen, the past few seasons when he was around, how he treated her, how he talked to her. And
it wasn't that long ago.
She never gave any pushback like that. Like she even said one time, like, yeah, Mark had done whatever it was, I would have flipped this table over. No, you wouldn't have.
No, you wouldn't have.
That man said he loved the lady that said you was pregnant with a buffalo because you was so big. So like, and he did that in your face. Like he blatantly disrespected you multiple fucking times. And you were still there playing Ken, like being very coy and very shy and not having this voice. But now all of a sudden for someone else's husband, you have the voice. Ain't buying it. Kenya was saying the bullshit to Ralph because he reminded her of Mark, but in that moment she had put Mark's face on him, and because she never said it to Mark and never probably will say it to Mark, she decided she was going to say it to Ralph.
Yeah.
Okay, I like several things to say, so I'm gonna rush it out. I do get everything that y'all are saying and stuff like that, but I do also think that even though Kenya may have came off like that on TV, Kenya does not seem like the type of woman that just sits back and lie. I believe privately their arguments were horrible. I think they both said a lot of bad things to each other. I think they both were very negative towards each other, which is why the divorce is being so negative right now. But as far as that particular scene, I do agree with what Kenya was saying, but I don't think that her and Drew at that point, right then and there in that time frame, were that close enough for her to be stepping in and going on and on and on and on and on about it like that.
I
Well,
mean, let me say this.
okay.
Even to the extent of saying, like, you know, he's an asshole. Like, if they're literally at the same table.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, they're not that close. Now, what I do feel is that not only is she projecting and doing all of that, we get that, but you got to think about it. You know, she at this time was still going through issues with Mark. You know what I'm saying? They're still going on now. Like, he's trying, whatever. So, I think, you know, I'm just gonna say that's just bullshit to me, CL, just because you said that, you know, in private, honey, we only talk about what we see on the show, and we saw Mark disrespect Kenya in the same way for damn near 2 seasons.
Yes, sir.
And so all we have to go off of is what we saw, and I'm just gonna say that he let her run over. So it's crazy for her to give that advice to Drew when she didn't even do it herself, and it was just a year and a half or so ago. It wasn't that long ago. So
that's what I was gonna say too.
but I
Like,
agree. Everything she said was right. It's the right
yeah.
message, wrong messenger, and also the wrong time, because this is a dinner, and I just felt like, girl, like calling somebody else man an asshole, that isn't gonna fly. That is not gonna happen. I mean, I'm upset, but Drew is very, you know, she clearly was getting emotional at the table. But if you notice, like, look what she started. Had she didn't have to go into that. She could have just stopped at that, you know, we're not wearing our ring, but she went into the challenge, which
Yeah.
gave the girls more of things to talk about.
Yeah.
And then you got Marlo saying, well, you know what? I blame Drew because she only gonna do what he allowed. In other words, call that bitch stupid. Right?
Stupid. She called that
Call
girl
her
stupid right there in her face.
So
Yes,
this
yes.
is really all Drew's fault, because is a time and a place, and she makes every time and place a moment for her to talk about her marriage and the cheating. It's just ridiculous.
I do like that Kenya even told her, Drew, you don't know how to let things go.
And that was true. I agree with that. I really agree with that.
And I think that goes back to it being a time and a place for everything. I just don't feel that there was a time nor the place, because Kenya saying the lady, that girl husband was an asshole and stuff like that. Me and my guy or whatever, one of them, if we out, hey,
I'm dead.
we having a conversation. You don't disrespect this person that I'm with. Like, I get you want to have my back, but you don't do that. You let me handle this in the way. You don't disrespect my person, because I mean, you gonna have some words.
Yeah. But also another thing that goes into the factor of, like, what y'all were saying about Kenya. Just because you ain't able to do that in your own relationship don't mean that you can't say that. Like, you might not be able to do that in your relationship, but you can definitely give your opinion on somebody else's when you maybe should be doing it in your own. So if that makes any
that's like you know what, that's like you know how we go to personal trainers, and I'm not saying that people that are overweight or big, whatever, can train you, but when you see a trainer that is, you know, looking out of shape, you're gonna kind of be like, ew, like, how can they train me when they're not really doing it themselves? You know what I'm saying? You that's what you look at. And so I feel like we as people, we like to, it's hard to take advice from someone when they're not living the same, especially when you saw it yourself. It's very difficult. That's just human nature. And so I don't see any issue with Kenya saying, I don't see any issue with what she said. I don't think she should have said it at that time, and also to him. You know what I'm saying? It went a little too far, and we know what's going on with Kenya, and she should have stopped. And, you know, Kenya, she loved to address men. She has addressed plenty, messed with the other ones too. So I mean,
like Nene said a couple of seasons ago, when Mark comes, Kenya shuts the fuck up. So that's it.
Like I said, my only thing was they wasn't close enough for her to be doing all that. Because
I agree, they weren't.
I said stuff to my homegirls and like my brother and stuff like that. Like, I've definitely said stuff to their partners and stuff like that. And I, can be a little harsh in my approach sometimes, but I have that type of relationship with them to where I can do that. I'm not gonna interject myself or say anything to somebody's spouse or partner, boyfriend, fiance, whatever the case may be. If me and them don't have that type of relationship, I'm not gonna say anything at all. So I just felt appropriate because her and Drew wasn't at that place yet. Now maybe now, because it seems like they have gotten close and built a friendship and stuff. But at that moment, completely inappropriate. But I get and feel what she was saying. She was completely right, like you said. Marlo too.
So then after that, King when she goes into the, she can't let stuff go thing or whatever, it turned into a moment where Sheree inserted herself, and she just basically, Drew kind of took the fence. She kind of, I guess, heard on the side and was just like, "Hey, nobody at this table, some or whatever." And Sheree pulls out these receipts, reading this message, basically saying that the assistant was saying that Ralph is gay, and Ralph is like, "Who? Me?" And that's why I'm just like, well, damn, did she not tell him this or whatever? Like, I mean, I don't know how long it was from the last time they saw each other, but wouldn't you want to tell your husband that? But I guess they are going through issues, and she said he did get his things and go sleep in the baby's room. So maybe I don't know, child. But go ahead.
Kind of believe it. I can definitely see Ralph dipping and dabbing, but that's just my personal opinion. I
don't think that man gay, child.
I personally don't see that at all. It's with Ralph being on television now, the people love them some fame, and they love to say who they done did and who done did them. We would have heard it before this messy ass assistant decided that he was gonna release it. So I don't believe that at all. With something like that, for me, you're gonna have to come with some receipts and not just, somebody said. Like, I need to see some laying in the bed and some before I just be believing that.
I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying I can see it being possible.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see. They end the episode with that. I'm like, ooh, sure, that's a little tacky too. Yeah. I just find some things be kind of tacky, but whatever. It's TV, child. I guess ain't nothing off limits on these shows.
Well, I was thinking that in Sheree's defense, in that moment, Drew was saying, "Ain't nobody gave," because Drew was saying that her assistant was still on probation, and she was pretty much saying, "Ain't nobody gave me no receipts. I haven't seen a receipt," and blah blah blah. So Sheree is like, "Look, this is what the boy texted me. This is what he said," and he was like, Portia's baby daddy and Drew's husband, or whatever.
You have to do it in front of at the table, in front of everybody, in front of Ralph.
At that point, it was out, and I do feel like with a situation like that, clearly Ralph's wife didn't put him in the know for what this dude had said.
I wish she should have went and talked to him, let him know.
She should have.
But it seems like they don't communicate. They both be confused and lost and stuff, child. It's just, it is what it is. But that's how the episode ended. And next week we get more into that. We see what happens with Tyrone, which is clearly nothing. And we see a conversation that happens between Sonya and Drew, which I'm excited for because I want to see her do something. You know what I'm saying? Not because it's Drew, but I just want to see her in the mix.
I want to see how that starts.
Yeah, I want to see her. Like, she's fun, she's cool, but now it's time for her to do some work. You know what I'm saying?
She better not come with no dumbass bullshit.
I don't know. She seemed very stern.
When I was watching the preview, because I watched it like an hour before we got on here or whatever, and I'm like, so this is how the Sonya and Drew thing starts, because she started to see like Drew isn't all that she chalked herself up to be. Yeah. And he's like, like she said, like, how are you gonna have this assistant still working for you after you know the information? Like, they're basically saying your assistant is starting all this and you put him on probation.
Well, I get that, Demisio, and I know Cortez trying to wrap up, but let me just say this really quick. Just because someone says something does not necessarily mean that you have to really act on it. For example, somebody coming to Cortez and saying, Antonio said X, Y, and Z. I would expect maybe for Cortez to come and talk to me about it, as opposed to Cortez just saying, okay, well, Antonio can't appear on the lean anymore or something like that. Like, you have to understand, I guess Drew and this guy has some type of working or professional relationship. So just because somebody said that he said something doesn't necessarily mean that he actually said it. And as of right now, before we see next week, I'm going to say Sonya's reasoning for not being friends with Drew, I ain't really buying it, because they all got some shady aspects about themselves on that show. So her being friends with any of them is going to come with some level of shade and all of that. So her using that as her reasoning for not being friends with Drew, I ain't really buying that. That's why I said she going to have to come with a little bit more. and not that dumb bullshit that I'm seeing right now.
But even also
Okay.
though,
Hold
last
on.
what you
Hold on one
when you
second. We're gonna let me get a few callers on before we go in that part. We're about to get a few callers in right now. If you want to call us, send the link in. But be sure before I do that, you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're on Facebook, head over to YouTube, hit the like button too. We appreciate everybody that's watching, whether it's Facebook, YouTube. But we're also an algorithm on both, so make sure you support both if you can.
Please.
Go ahead, Demise. Why we let the caller? You were saying something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I think it kind of was like a build up though, because even though saying what she's saying this week, she also did not like what she did at the tea party either. She was also kind of getting on Drew, like, and talking shit about that too, like how she came at Sheree and getting in her face and like all of that stuff. So I think it really kind of like was a build up. Like I think she saw Drew one way, and then when they were by themselves, so she got intertwined with the group. And I think when she got in the group, and I guess maybe because she might have been, from what it seems like, she was closest to Drew than she really was the rest of them. So I
No.
think.
Well, so let's just be honest. Like they're not
Well, not,
friends.
I'm saying that's the one that she really was like being around when the show started. You saw
It's
her with.
supposed to look like she kind of her friend, she knew her or something like that.
Yeah.
But from the first episode at the archive event, clearly Sonya had already aligned herself with who she was going to align herself
With
with.
Sheree and Marlo.
Sheree and Marlo. So there is nothing I don't even need to see because when Drew was over, every time there's Drew, there's always Drew, and then there's Sonya. The only time you saw them two together was when they was dropping it low at the gym and when she had the car accident, which she did call. But I mean,
The ride.
I do want to say, I don't think that's a reason to not be friends with somebody, especially I could see if she was close with her, then I'm like, okay, but I mean, she ain't giving no signs of that. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna say the rest of my thoughts on that for next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it and see. I just feel like she needs a storyline. I wish it was with somebody else. I mean, at this point, Drew is running the girls low. I mean,
Drew been getting our airtime every week, so
yeah.
That's true.
It's you can say what y'all want to say about it, but child, she working, child.
She's a pretty girl.
That's just that on that.
Even though she tacky, boring, act like she writing the script, but
well, sometimes that's what you got to do to say keep your peach.
clearly, honey.
I agree, Sammy. Drew's working. Okay, we got all right. Come on, TKC. We got one caller, and I'm gonna let him on before we get ready to lean out. Hey, Stefan. Hey, cousin. Of course, again, don't forget to hit that like button on both YouTube and Facebook if you can. And I saw something. Somebody said something a second ago. Oh yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta is not on next week, so we get a break.
Oh, I forgot to
yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend, so that's all good because I'm gonna be somewhere doing this. All right, what's up, TKC?
What's up, y'all?
What you got to say?
What's up?
Oh my god, I ain't calling in a long time because
I know I ain't seen you since the luncheon lanes. I think it's been a while. Or was it? Maybe it was New Jersey. It was one of the shows recently.
It was probably Jersey.
Okay,
because it is the better franchise right now. But I really don't have much to say. I just like called in to ask y'all like, what do y'all think so far of the season? Like, it's really not giving anything to me. Like I remember
at the beginning, we said it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
I remember I look forward to getting home on Sunday nights and watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's just blah.
I think it's a slow build right now. Clearly, they had filmed for weeks before that very first episode that we saw. So I think production also knew that they needed to change some things around and what have you. So I do think it's a slow build. Yeah. I'm enjoying it because I'm enjoying kind of seeing the new dynamics and what the new girls, meaning Drew and the even newer girl Sonya, what they're gonna do and how they're gonna play their cards and things like that. So I'm still intrigued on what the season looks like going forward. Like out the gate, it's not bam action, but it's I think done enough for me to keep my attention.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not like, oh my God, it's great, but I'm enjoying it. It is a slow build. The storylines, it's not that they're new, but I mean, they don't seem too forced. Like it seems like maybe some shit did go on and it seems like it's going to escalate more. So I'm just watching it. I'm taking it for what it is. I'm not comparing it to anything else.
Me
The
too.
old Atlanta, like Antonio said, is gone. So it's like you either get in or get out, you know. I'm in.
We appreciate the new dynamic of what's going on. Like the scenes don't seem forced, like they're forcing like they're forced to hang out or they're forcing these interactions with each other. They genuinely, seem like they enjoy each other, but at the same time they do shit to each other that obviously gets on each other's nerves and stuff like that. But they also, so far, because it looked like down the line it get a little hectic, but so far it's like they know how to reel it back in. Like they can do it and bring it back to laughter and fun. It kind of somewhat remind me of the Potomac girls minus Candace. They can argue and really on back in.
Okay, not too much, my girl Candace. You tried it.
You see, I just said,
Not too
He is one of the ones.
Cortez, you see, I didn't say nothing. I want to remain
freedom of speech. Get it out. All right, TKC.
Honey, that's
all right, y'all. That's all I really wanted to know.
Thank you, TKC. Call in again next time. We missed you.
Yeah, call in for next time.
With your shady ass.
All right. Ronnie G says, "I love this season. It's drama instead of downright mean." I agree. You said what, Micio?
I said no low Lisa tonight.
No, child. Not tonight.
I hope Lisa's okay.
Okay, and we got a comment from JP Rob before we lean out. JP Rob says Antonio might be my favorite co-host because I know it's me actually. Well, I'm not a co-host. But no, it says I agree with him 100% of the time. Plus, he has a sexy voice. Now, y'all sat here and Antonio didn't say it 3 times tonight. He's in several relationships. JP Rob, are you the other person?
Rob. JP Rob, I'm always building that roster, baby.
Oh Lord Jesus. Somebody called you Pimp Tonio you Denise. What's her name? Not Denise. What's the lady name from the show?
Diana.
Diana Jenkins.
Like, don't do Denise like that now. Come on.
Lord. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and lean out. No more call-ins today, apparently, so that's fine. Thank y'all for watching tonight. Go ahead and hit that like button again. And if you're in the comments or if you're watching the replay, just let us know what you thought about the episode. And also, what did you think about, Kenya addressing Ralph? And, just let us know in the comments. We'll see y'all Wednesday for Beverly Hills. And who's that? Ricky Star says, add me to the roster. Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Hit me up, baby. You see my IG?
Y'all didn't see that thing about the smallpox or whatever came out today. Y'all better be careful out here.
Monkeypox.
What's it called?
Monkeypox, I think.
One of them poxes. Y'all better.
Ain't no monkey, baby.
I'm just talking. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.
Y'all.
Bye.